Hello, everybody, and welcome to Drop and Give Me 20 with Phil Rizdon. I am Phil Rizdon, and it is a beautiful 100-degree day in New Jersey right now. I have no idea why it's so freaking hot. I'm trying not to curse in the first 2 minutes of my videos because I heard that hurts the algorithm. So I have no idea why it's so freaking hot. I have no idea why I feel like I want to die right now. It is so humid down here. If you guys notice, I'm not at my usual studio. Like I said, I'm down in New Jersey. I'm actually dog sitting for my sister right now. You haven't seen him yet, but there's a massive pit bull right next to me whose name is Kane. He's cool. He's really nice. But yeah, it's actually kind of nice. I get to sit here in the backyard, take the world in, and just kind of vibe out. I haven't been at someone's home that's had a yard and I can't tell you how long. So it feels nice to actually like see some grass, take in some fresh air, at least fresher than New York's air. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, that's a pretty low bar. That's a really low bar. If we're talking about like fresh air, it's like, it just has to be fresher than New York's. Because compared to every other place, New York's air is like sitting in a stall in an airport bathroom while some dude is just letting it all out. That's our equivalent of like air quality in New York. So yes, it's nice to be in this backyard chilling out. Got the whole house to myself. Trying not to smoke weed indoors. So that's my personal challenge. That's very nice. What's been going on today, man? Life has been good. The Olympics are officially over now. So shout out to that. Shout out to the Olympics. Everybody, did their thing, no matter what country you're from. No matter what event you did. I think it's awesome. Congrats to all the Olympians out there. Now the games have ended, and we can get back to hating each other and all that other bullshit. And we can stop pretending that the reason we hate each other is because one person was accused of like doping in some stupid like badminton tournament. That's the whole thing that I love about the Olympics is when there's like rivalries. People go like, oh, there's a rivalry here because 4 years ago this guy beat this other guy in curling. And it's like, no, there's a rivalry because hundreds of years ago their people genocided the other people's people, and this stupid event has nothing to do with it, but they still really care about it. That's also why the Olympics is nice, because you see real rivalries applied to like trivial things like table tennis. You're like, what the fuck is going on? This makes no sense. But yeah, no, the Olympics were cool. I didn't get a chance to watch too much of it. I saw some highlights and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. I wanted to say shout out to Suraj Chopra for winning the gold medal. I believe he's the first Indian dude to win a gold medal at all, or it might be to win a gold medal in track and field. But regardless, that is insane. So shout out to him for winning it for javelin and everything. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Chopra or Chopra? Because I'm watching the video, and it's two American people, I can tell, and they're calling him Chopra. You know what I mean? But it sounded, I feel like if I call him Chopra, I feel like I sound like a goddamn hillbilly or something. Why is it that like with certain accents, if you pronounce it in the way that they pronounce it, you're like cool and you're considerate of their culture. But if you pronounce it the way they pronounce it in other, cultures or something like that, you're like a bigot or an asshole. Does that make sense? Like if I pronounce Espanol like Espanol, or that was terrible. Jesus Christ, I'm not taking that out, okay? But if I pronounce like Espanol like Espanol, or something like that, or I add the Spanish like lisp, almost like I'm pronouncing it like traditional Spanish, or like if I'm in Italy and I call like mozzarella like mozzarella or something like that, people will be like, oh, he knows things. But if I call Suraj Chopra like Suraj Chopra, they'll be like, you're a dick. Get rid of this guy. Why did he do that? Why did he try to make us think he was them? I don't like this. He's mean. Get rid of that guy. What's up with that? Can we talk about that? What's up with that? I love how I want to have this profound discussion, but no one's here but me. Case in point of all my discussions. That's the best part about doing a podcast with yourself. There's no one there to argue with you. It's great. Yeah, no, shout out to him though, man, for winning the gold medal. I find that like so fucking cool. I also find it incredibly surprising that he's the only, like, that India doesn't have tons and tons of gold medals. They have so many people. They have billions of people. You know, same thing with China. You know, like, I understand why the USA wins, because we're the most, like, mixed bunch of people ever. Like, it really is like a crazy science experiment. We should actually be winning, like, literally every single event, because we have every type of person here. We have black people, we have white people, we have, you know, Hispanic people, we have Asian people, we have anyone in between any of those sections of people. They all live in America. Whereas, like, other countries, most other countries don't have as big of a population of other types of cultures and other types of races as we do, you know? And even if they have the same percentage, they don't have the same physical amount. So it makes sense why we win, because we have everybody here. Like, you know, it's different. It's almost like with soccer, when, who was it, France won the World Cup last time, and people were saying, like, no, France didn't win the World Cup, Africa did. That was like the joke, you know? But America's like that, where it's like, yeah, no, it's not necessarily even though it is America who's winning, it's, you know, Africa, it's, you know, New Zealand or Samoa or something, or it's, you know, Japan and China and Taiwan and India and, you know, the Middle East as a whole. Like, you know, we have everyone here, so it just makes it easier. Like, each country's good at one or two things, and since we just have everybody, we're good at all of the things, you know? But also, too, with India and China, you think that just simply because they have so many people, by law of probability, some of those people are going to be great at things, too. So I love this idea of, like, China and India versus, like, the U.S., where it's like, you know, quality versus quantity. You know, it's like we have so many different types of people, and they've all matched together and started fucking, so they make these, like, weird, you know, brown people who are good at everything, you know, but then they just keep churning them out. India and fucking, you know, China just keeps churning out people like a goddamn assembly line, like, you know, one of those like old fucking, you know, fucking reels of like assembly lines and shit, just like, that's what they're doing every time. And that's a pretty solid way of competing too. So I don't know what's going on, you know. I don't know what's going on, but I think that's really cool that he won. So shout out to him. Definitely shout out to Suraj Chopra. I'm gonna go with the with the please don't cancel me pronunciation. Suraj Chopra. That's what I'm going to pronounce. Also, shout out to Peyton Manning for finally getting inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. That is huge. A lot of people are going to tell you that they think it's because of his profound quarterbacking ability, the fact that, you know, when he was on the field, he was almost practically the coach, you know, and the fact of, like, his resolve and how many times he's come back to fight during Super Bowls, and he's somebody who's always withstood stuff, and he has laser focus, and he's a talented athlete, and all that is true. But I also think 90% of it is the Oreos commercials. Am I right, guys? I mean, come on. It has to be the Oreos commercials. Am I crazy? That's when we knew he was a person. The Oreos commercials. You know, that was nice. Him and Eli Manning. So not only is he a tremendous athlete, you know, he's acting in this thing with his brother, acting in these commercials and stuff. So not only is he a tremendous athlete, but he's also helping out the less fortunate. Because we all know Eli's a little slow. So, I mean, that's a couple points ticked off right there. The guy's great. You know, he's a good man. So, you know, and let's all sweep the old HGH in the mail stuff under the rug. How about that? All right, guys? How about we don't be lame? Let's just go for it. Oh my god, my battery's about to die. So if this cuts off and I have to put some weird jump cut, just pretend you don't notice it, all right? Because I'm seeing the red flashing and it's gonna ruin everything. I know this for a fact. I'm not editing this out either, guys. What else was I watching? I was watching the news on YouTube, which gives it even more credibility. Let's be honest. Yeah, no, I was watching the news and they were saying that a COVID booster might be in the works because of the whole Delta variant and everything like that, which I'm totally down to take. I just have to make sure that a rich white person is taking it with me. That's what I've figured out. I've brought it up here on the podcast a couple times right now. I brought it up a couple times. I feel like every black person, if you want a black person to take the vaccine, every black person deserves to have a rich white chaperone that'll go with them to the vaccination center, get the shot at the same exact time, and they both get vaccinated simultaneously. That is the only way you'll create enough trust for us to actually do this shit. All right. I mean, I have the first vaccination. I went because I'm trying to get out here. I travel for comedy. I do all these things, trying to get my dick wet out here. You know what I mean? Like I don't really give a fuck. But if you're trying to reach like the average black dude who doesn't watch the news and only listens to Kevin Samuels, yeah, he's gonna need a rich white chaperone to take that shit directly in front of him, which I don't even blame him. Man, you know, if America didn't betray the trust, you know, we wouldn't have to be going through this right now. But you guys want to play all these games, and you want to do all these little things, and you want to shoot people up with syphilis and shit. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. You know, I'm down though. I'm just trying to, I'm down to get this COVID booster. I think it needs to happen. Number one, the Delta variant in New York City, at least, is 83% of people who are being either hospitalized for sure. 83% of the people who are being hospitalized, but I also believe Delta variant is 83% of the people who are contracting it as well. So we need to take care of that. Also, too, I want to make sure I don't get sick when the actual apocalypse happens. Because have you been paying attention to this climate change shit? I'll be real with you, man. Like, I talk about it every episode. I talk about it every single episode. But it's the truth, man. Like, there's fucking flooding in Venice right now, which is like, you know, which is happening, which is crazy. Like, I mean, Venice, that was the one with the gondolas and stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure, you know, some flooding happens and stuff like that. And it's kind of known, you know, it's a port city, of course. But to a certain level, like, that's surprising, man. And I mean, it just happened to Germany, like 2-3 weeks ago? There was more flooding, I think, all over Italy. There's been crazy wildfires in Greece right now that they've had to, like, helicopter people out of just to rescue them. Let's not forget the whole LA wildfire shit that's going on right now, where the fires and the smoke are so bad that it got all the way over to New York City. The smoke got all the way over to New York City and was affecting the climate there. So these things are real, man. These things are real. It's getting to the point where it's crazy, man. It really is. Like, these rich powers that be can't go along and continue denying what's going on. In fact, the UN just released some reports that they conducted or whatever, that some independent scientists conducted, saying that the Earth's temperature will go up 1.5 Celsius by, I think, in the next decade. By the next decade, it'll go up 1.5 Celsius, and with every fraction of a degree increase, we'll see rapid and constant change, and it's just only going to get worse. And then also too, I don't know if you guys were listening to one of my last episodes. I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago, or maybe it was on the Learning Things podcast that I was talking about this. About astronomers talking about the Wobbly Moon, which is, for some reason, in the moon's orbit every few thousand years, it goes through, I guess, a time of like fluctuation with where and how it necessarily orbits the Earth. And now we're going through that after thousands of years of not having to deal with it. And because of that, it affects the ocean and the ocean's currents and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the problems with the flooding is the wobbly moon, but also because of global warming and just climate change within itself. I mean, even listen to that. It used to be called global warming, and it had to be changed to climate change because all these wealthy powers that be put such a smear campaign on the term global warming that they had to rename it so they can still keep things alive to, change this world and make it a better place. And that's such a shame. That's such a shame that, the people that, are in charge of this world would rather, make people and scientists feel shitty about being honest about something that's going on in this world. And they would, kind of run a smear campaign or kind of run them through the mud in order to hurt their credibility rather than just owning up to the actual things that are going on right now. Especially because they were talking about how they were doing some studies, the IPCC, which is just, it's a group of independent science professors who handle climate change. And basically what it is, I think that's possibly the most interesting whole part of it, because the IPCC, they're independent scientists, so they're not really loyal in this capacity to any government or anything. And it's not run by any government, as far as I believe. As far as all the YouTube videos that I've seen have led me to believe. But they come together, they bring together all research. That's the one good thing about COVID, because everybody was through Zoom and stuff, and all these past meetings that they had done before through reports and everything were in-person meetings. Since everything was through Zoom, a lot more people were able to put together their information and work together. So they had the most scientists on this issue that they've ever had in the whole time of their organization, which is really, really cool. But they were talking about how they've done a bunch of studies and how now it really is official. And the UN also reported this too, I believe yesterday, how it really is official that it's human interaction that is doing this thing. Before, with a lot of climate change, people were saying, yes, it's partial nature, but it's mostly human interaction. Now it's gotten to the point where they're just like, no, facts are facts. It's human interaction that is doing this, that is causing all these problems. So I think we need to do something, because listen, like, I'm fine with, politicians sweeping things under the rug. So they legalize weed. Shout out to Andrew Cuomo. I'm fine with, getting free money because of COVID. Shout out to Biden. I don't give a shit. But eventually, our chickens are going to come home to roost. You can't just sweep things under the rug. You can't just blindly give people double talk and, throw money or throw whatever little causes that they like at them and hope that we'll be okay, and not paying attention to the dumpster fire that is climate change. Like, do you realize why the media talks about this sexual misconduct stuff so much, all this celebrity bullshit so much, cancel culture, even the presidency? It's to hide that shit. Dude, within like 10 years, like, most of the world will be rapidly changed. Within the next 50 years, we could all possibly be dead, or at least a majority of us will be dead. They said actually in Greenland, which, obviously we know Iceland, everything's green. In Greenland, everything's made of ice. In Greenland, because it is mostly ice, it is getting milder there, which is nicer for the people that are specifically there, and the tourism has increased rapidly because of all that stuff. But what they're having is, because their place is mostly ice, they're having rapid melting. And within a day, I just saw this today, they said that yesterday, within a day, Greenland melted enough ice to cover the state of Florida in 2 inches of water. And if this continues to happen over and over and over again, this will affect the Gulf streams and the currents that affect North America and Western Europe. And this is going to be a very, very big problem for us in the future. So we need to figure this shit out. Enough of the sad shit. I'm sorry. Enough of the sad shit. See, this is why I smoke weed before I record. Because I know I'm going to get into these weird tangents. And it drives me nuts, but I decided not to smoke weed yet, because I was like, I don't know, I haven't recorded in a couple days, and I'm like, what if I'm not? I love how I can snap with this one. I cannot. Oh, holy shit! You guys got it. That was the joke was gonna be I can snap with this one, but I can't snap with this one because I almost never can snap with this one. But yeah, I thought I wasn't gonna be firing on all cylinders, so I came here. But now I realized I'm just depressing and angry, and I'm so sorry about that. You know. Let's talk about it. What's what happened with me? I had a audition at Broadway Comedy Club the other night. Killed it. Shout out to Rich Brooks. Shout out to Troy Bond. Shout out to all the comedians who performed that night. It was a great time. So we'll see. Hopefully, maybe things go well at the club. I'll be able to be a regular there. I'm trying to get in more. Because I produce a bunch of shit myself and everything, and all that stuff is great. But God damn it, I need to be in front of a crowd, baby. And not just my own crowd. I need that new fan base out there, man. I got a bunch of different jokes out here. I've been talking more and more about parenting and how like getting older is okay now, which is cool. So like, because it is, right? Am I not gonna? I feel like the old people now are the coolest old people have ever been in the world. They really are. Like, the old people now fucking take the cake, man. Old people now are, I'm like, I want to be that. God, back in the day, old people used to be scary. Old people used to be so scary that witches were a myth that people believed in. Do you actually realize that? Do you realize how scary, like, an old woman has to be before you're like, oh no, she's a student of the dark arts, All the person had to have was like, weird hair. Like an old person with weird hair, and you'd be like, that's a wizard, that's a witch. I don't trust it. Crazy. Old people used to be the type of people that folklore was made about. Now what do old people do? They jog. They're fun. They do yoga. Shit. Some of them even smoke weed. I've smoked weed with so many old people. And, like, I'm not talking about, like, oh, he's in his 50s. That's an old guy. I'm talking about fucking old, dude. Fucking old. I've smoked weed with, like, a 70-year-old man before. And it's fucking fun. You talk to him about what the world was. I still haven't talked to, like, a 70 or 80-year-old black man while smoking weed. That's one thing I definitely want to do. I just want to smoke weed and ask him what segregation was like. You're like, what was that like? Did you still get white pussy? And how dangerous was it to get that shit? And when you got it, was that shit good? You know what I mean? These are the questions I want to ask. That's a real history class. That's actually a funny sketch, black man history class, where you just ask stupid shit. You just ask him, you're like, during segregation, did you still get white pussy? That's hilarious. Oh my God. Oh God. All right, guys. Well, we ended on a laugh. That was fun. The battery is about to go out, and it didn't. So I'm happy about this. It's still blinking. It didn't go out. Super happy about this. This is almost like some weird, weird Hanukkah shit, because usually when this battery is beeping, it's beeping and then it's done within 2 seconds. So I'm happy. Hopefully this battery will last for 8 days. We'll see what happens. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Remember to give me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcasting format that you have. Thank you. This has been Drop and Give Me 20 with Phil Rizdon. I am Phil Rizdon. Thanks, and have a good one.